The quantum sensors aboard the Horizon Dawn weren't designed to detect hostile intent. As Captain Samira Patel stood on the bridge of her research vessel, watching the approaching alien ships through the main viewscreen, she felt an uncomfortable tightness in her chest. The vessel's crystalline structures caught the light of the distant sun, creating prismatic patterns that would have been beautiful under different circumstances. "Dr. Ramirez, what do you make of their configuration?" Samira asked her chief scientist, her eyes never leaving the screen. The three alien ships had arranged themselves in a triangular formation that seemed more tactical than diplomatic. "Their energy signatures are unlike anything in our database, Captain," Ramirez replied, his fingers dancing across his holographic interface. "But there's something odd about their movement patterns. They're not maintaining a constant distance from each other." The Horizon Dawn had been mapping the gravitational anomalies in the outer rim for 6 months when they encountered the alien vessels. Their mission was purely scientific. They were the first human ship to venture this far into uncharted space, carrying some of Earth's brightest minds and most advanced research equipment. First Officer Tom Zhang cleared his throat. "Captain, they're not responding to any of our standard greeting protocols. I've tried all frequencies, including the new quantum entangled channels." Samira nodded slowly, her military training from years ago screaming warnings in her mind. Despite the Horizon Dawn civilian status, she had been selected to lead this mission specifically because of her background. "Launch our friendship probe. Let's show them we're here peacefully." The small, unarmed probe detached from the Horizon Dawn, carrying universal peace symbols and basic mathematical sequences, humanity's traditional first contact package. It moved slowly toward the alien formation, its golden surface reflecting the starlight. The response was immediate and devastating. A beam of coherent energy, tinted an impossible shade of purple, lanced out from the lead alien ship, vaporizing the probe instantly. Before anyone could react, 2 more beams struck the Horizon Dawn's forward shields. "Shields at 60%. Zhang shouted, his hands already moving to activate their emergency protocols. "They're charging weapons again." Samira's training kicked in. "All hands, battle stations. Dr. Ramirez, I need options. Those shields weren't designed for this kind of assault." The ship shuddered as another blast hit them. Ramirez's voice was steady despite the chaos. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual fluctuations in their weapon signatures. They're using some form of quantum-phased energy, but there's a pattern to it. Give me 2 minutes. Engineering, divert all power to shields except life support and essential systems," Samira ordered through the ship's helm, "prepare for emergency maneuvers on my mark." The alien ships were closing in, their crystalline structures pulsing with energy. Through the view screen, Samira could see smaller crystals detaching from their hulls, forming a web of deadly geometry around the Horizon Dawn. "They're trying to box us in," Zhang observed, his voice tense. "Standard containment pattern. These aren't pirates, this is military precision." Ramirez suddenly straightened at his station. "Captain. Their weapons, they're using quantum harmonics to amplify their power. But that means they're vulnerable to feedback," Samira finished, a plan forming in her mind. "Engineering, can we modify our gravitational sensors to emit a reversed quantum signature?" "It's possible," Chief Engineer Yoshida's voice crackled through the comm, "but we'll have to drop shields for at least 30 seconds to reconfigure the emitters." Another hit rocked the ship. "Shields at 40%. Samira gripped her command chair. "Dr. Ramirez, calculate the exact frequency of their weapons. Engineering, begin modifications. Helm, on my mark, execute escape pattern Delta 7. She took a deep breath. "We get one shot at this. If we fail, Earth needs to know what happened here." The next few minutes were a blur of precision timing and desperate gambles. As the alien ships moved in for the kill, the Horizon Dawn suddenly dropped its shields. The enemy, expecting surrender, hesitated for a crucial moment. That's when Samira gave the order. The modified gravitational sensors pulsed, sending out a quantum wave precisely matched to the inverse of the alien weapon's frequency. The effect was spectacular. The crystalline ship's energy weapons backfired, their beautiful structures cracking as their own power turned against them. In the chaos that followed, the Horizon Dawn executed its escape maneuver, using the gravitational anomalies they'd been studying to mask their emergency FTL jump. As they fled toward Earth, Samira knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had just been thrust onto a galactic stage they hadn't known existed, and their entrance had been anything but peaceful. "Send an emergency broadcast to Earth Command," she ordered, watching the alien ships disappear behind them. Tell them everything has changed. And tell them we're going to need bigger ships." As the Horizon Dawn raced home, carrying news of humanity's first hostile alien contact, Samira Patel knew that the peaceful age of human space exploration had just come to an end. But she had also proven something crucial: even caught unprepared, humans could be resourceful, dangerous opponents. The real question was, who were these attackers, and what had humanity unknowingly stepped into? Fleet Commander Jun Nakamura stood before the United Earth Council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display of the Horizon Dawn's encounter. The chamber was silent as the final moments of the recording played out, the brilliant flash of quantum feedback, the desperate escape, the broken alien vessels left tumbling in space. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice carrying the weight of 30 years in Earth's defense forces, "what you've just witnessed represents both our greatest crisis and our greatest opportunity. The Horizon Dawn's data confirms what we've long suspected: we are not alone, and not all our cosmic neighbors are friendly." Council President Regina Okonjo leaned forward. "What are our options, Commander?" "Captain Patel's report suggests these aliens possess technology far beyond our current capabilities." "That's true, Madam President. But they also revealed their weaknesses." Nakamura gestured, and the hologram shifted to show detailed scans of the crystalline ships. Their over-reliance on quantum harmonic weapons nearly led to their defeat by a civilian research vessel. "Imagine what we could do with properly equipped warships." The emergency session had been called within hours of the Horizon Dawn's return. Representatives from every major Earth nation and colony filled the chamber, their faces showing a mix of fear and determination. "Our analysis team, led by Dr. Ramirez from the Horizon Dawn, has already begun developing countermeasures," Nakamura continued. "But we need to act quickly. These aliens, the Vexori, according to patterns in their energy signatures, will return, and in greater numbers." "You sound certain of that, Commander," noted Counselor Heinrich Schmidt. "How can you be sure?" "Because that's what we would do," Nakamura replied grimly. "They've shown their hand, failed in their initial attack, and lost face. Their military precision suggests a hierarchical society that values dominance. They'll want to correct this embarrassment." The chamber erupted in urgent discussions. President Okonjo raised her hand for silence. "What do you propose, Commander?" Nakamura straightened. "Operation Firewall. We convert our deep space research stations into defensive platforms. We retrofit every ship we have with quantum feedback systems. We accelerate the development of our experimental weapons programs. And most importantly," he paused, making eye contact with each council member, "we unite. No more national space forces. We need a single, coordinated Earth defense fleet." "That's a lot of resources and authority you're asking for, Commander," Schmidt observed. "The alternative is facing an advanced alien empire with divided forces and incomplete preparations." Nakamura touched another control, and the hologram showed a simulation of possible invasion routes to Earth. Captain Patel's encounter occurred in the Outer Rim, but the Vexori ship's capabilities suggest they could reach Earth in less than 3 months. Dr. Ramirez, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward. "If I may, Counsel. The Vexori's technology isn't just advanced, it's specialized. Their quantum harmonic weapons are incredibly powerful, but they're also predictable. They clearly haven't faced serious opposition in a long time. Their tactics showed no adaptation when their initial attack failed. Are you suggesting they're overconfident? President Okonjo asked. I'm suggesting they're inflexible, Ramirez replied. And if humanity has proven anything throughout our history, it's that we excel at adaptation and unconventional thinking. Nakamura nodded. We've already begun developing prototype ships incorporating lessons from the Horizon Dawn encounter. The Vexri rely on crystalline technology. We're designing weapons that can shatter their ships at a molecular level. They use quantum harmonics. We're creating randomized frequency modulators that will make their weapons useless. The hologram shifted again, showing designs for a new class of Earth warship. Its hull was covered in adaptive panels that could change configuration on the fly, with multiple redundant systems and a revolutionary propulsion system based on the gravitational anomaly research from the Horizon Dawn's mission. This is the Hyperion class, Nakamura explained. Designed to exploit every weakness we've identified in Vexri technology. But we need full commitment from every nation represented here to build them in time. President Okonjo studied the designs, then looked at the assembled council members. We're facing an unprecedented threat, but also an unprecedented opportunity. Commander Nakamura is right, we must unite. The alternative is facing extinction divided. The voting was swift and unanimous. As emergency powers were granted and resources allocated, Nakamura received an urgent message on his secure channel. A long-range probe had detected multiple Vexri signatures entering the outer rim. They were coming, just as he'd predicted. But Earth would be ready. Already, factories across the planet were retooling for warship production. Research teams were working around the clock on defensive systems. And in high orbit, the first of the new automated defense platforms was coming online. As Nakamura left the council chamber, Dr. Ramirez fell into step beside him. Commander, there's something else you should know. We've been analyzing the quantum signatures from the Vexri ships, and we found something interesting. Their technology, it has a blind spot. A fundamental flaw in their understanding of quantum mechanics that we might be able to exploit. Nakamura smiled grimly. Show me everything. If we're going to survive this, we need every advantage we can get. The fate of humanity now rested on their ability to prepare for war while there was still time. And in labs and shipyards across the solar system, humanity was about to prove just how quickly it could evolve when survival was at stake. The bridge of the UES Hyperion hummed with tension as the Vexri fleet emerged from hyperspace. Captain Samira Patel, newly promoted to lead Earth's first advanced warship, watched the tactical display with careful attention. The enemy fleet was massive, 30 crystalline vessels arranged in perfect geometric formations. Just like we predicted, Nakamura's voice came through the command channel. He was coordinating the operation from Earth Defense Command. They're following standard attack patterns. Status of the quantum net? Ready for deployment, Samira replied, nodding to Dr. Ramirez at his new tactical station. The scientist had insisted on being part of this mission, and his insights had proven invaluable. All ships report stealth systems functioning at optimal levels. The human fleet waited in perfect silence, hidden within a carefully constructed web of gravitational distortions. 5 Hyperion-class vessels, supported by 20 smaller but equally advanced destroyers, represented humanity's best hope for survival. Their hulls incorporated revolutionary metamaterials that could absorb and redirect energy, while their weapons systems had been specifically designed to exploit Vexri weaknesses. They're scanning the sector, reported First Officer Zhang, who had followed Samira to her new command. Their quantum sensors are active, but they're not detecting our gravitational camouflage. The Vexri fleet moved with mechanical precision toward the apparent location of Earth's main colony in the sector. They had no way of knowing the colony was a holographic projection, its energy signatures carefully crafted to draw them in. All ships, prepare for Phase 1, Samira ordered. Remember your training. These aren't the same vessels we faced before. They've upgraded their systems, but so have we. The enemy fleet entered the designated engagement zone. Samira took a deep breath. Execute Operation Starcrusher. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies for generations to come. The human fleet emerged from their hiding spots in perfect synchronization, their first volley targeting the precise crystalline resonance points Dr. Ramirez had identified. The Vexery ship's beautiful structures began to vibrate at their molecular level. But the aliens had learned from their previous encounter. Their shields flared with new frequencies, adapting to the human attacks. 3 Vexery vessels broke formation, their weapon systems charging with ominous purple energy. They've modified their quantum harmonics, Ramirez called out, his fingers flying over his console. Implementing countermeasures now. The Hyperion's hull rippled as it absorbed and redirected the enemy fire. Panels shifted and realigned, turning the ship into a constantly changing target. The smaller human vessels moved in complex patterns that no organic pilot could have managed alone, their AI systems coordinating with microsecond precision. Second wave, engage. Samira ordered. The human fleet split into predetermined groups, each targeting specific weaknesses in the Vexery formation. Some ships fired conventional weapons, while others projected quantum interference fields that disrupted the aliens' crystalline technology. The space between the fleets became a chaos of energy beams, explosions, and shifting gravitational fields. 3 Vexery ships shattered under the coordinated assault, their crystals breaking apart in cascading failures. But the aliens responded with devastating force, their remaining ships combining their weapon systems in ways humanity hadn't seen before. 2 destroyers lost, Jean reported grimly. The Vexery are learning, adapting their tactics. That's exactly what we wanted, Samira replied, a fierce smile on her face. Dr. Ramirez, are you seeing the pattern? Yes. The scientist's excitement was evident even in the midst of battle. Their adaptations are predictable, they're following exponential progression paths. Transmitting targeting solutions now. The human fleet's AI systems processed the new data instantly. Their attacks shifted, targeting not where the Vexery ships were, but where their adaptation patterns would force them to be. The aliens' very predictability became their weakness. Commander Nakamura, Samira called through the command channel, requesting permission to deploy the resonance cascade device. There was a moment of silence. The device was their ultimate weapon, developed by combining Earth's understanding of quantum mechanics with the lessons learned from studying Vexery technology. It had never been tested in actual combat. Permission granted, Captain. Make it count. Samira nodded to Ramirez. Launch the RCD. All ships, fall back to safe distance. The device was small, almost invisible against the backdrop of space. It drifted toward the center of the Vexery fleet, seemingly harmless. The aliens ignored it, focusing their fire on the retreating human ships. RCD activation in 3, 2, 1. The device detonated in a silent flash of quantum energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the crystalline structure of every Vexery ship within range began to change. The perfect geometric patterns that gave their vessels their strength became their undoing. Crystals grew and shattered, in an unstoppable cascade. My God, Zhang whispered. It actually worked. The Vexery fleet didn't explode so much as dissolve, their ships breaking apart into clouds of crystalline dust. Of their 30 vessels, only 5 survived, all outside the RCD's range. Those ships immediately retreated, jumping to hyperspace with none of their earlier precision. All ships, report status, Samira ordered, already knowing this wasn't the end. The Vexery would return, with new countermeasures and larger numbers. But humanity had proven something crucial, they could fight back. They could win. Commander, she called to Nakamura, I think it's time for Phase 2. Agreed, he replied. The Vexery need to understand that attacking humanity has consequences. Set course for their nearest outpost. Let's show them what happens when they push us too far. As the human fleet regrouped and prepared for their next mission, Samira caught Ramirez grinning at his station. Something amusing, Doctor. Just thinking, he replied. The Vexari probably thought they were hunting prey. They never expected to find equals, or that their technological superiority could become a weakness. That's the thing about humans, Samira said, watching her crew efficiently prepare for their next battle. We don't just adapt to survive. We learn how to win. The UES Hyperion and its sister ships jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind a field of crystalline debris as a testament to humanity's determination. The real war was just beginning, but Earth had shown the galaxy that technological advancement wasn't everything. Sometimes, the most dangerous weapon was the human capacity to innovate, adapt, and overcome. Deep in Vexari space, the UES Hyperion drifted silently between crystalline asteroids, its adaptive hull mimicking the mineral composition of the surrounding rocks. Captain Samira Patel stood at her command station, studying the holographic display of the massive structure before them, the Vexari High Command Central Nexus. Remarkable engineering, Dr. Ramirez murmured, analyzing the data streams. The entire station is one giant crystal matrix, processing information through quantum resonance. It's their version of a computational network. The human fleet's push into enemy territory had revealed surprising truths about their adversaries. The Vexari weren't just an empire, they were a hive mind of sorts, linked through their crystalline technology. But that connection wasn't as perfect as they pretended. Show me the emissions analysis again, Samira requested. The display shifted, revealing complex patterns of quantum communication between different sections of the station. There, do you see it? The discord in their harmonic patterns? Jean nodded. Some sections are actively trying to block communications with others. There's internal conflict. Their intelligence gathering over the past weeks had painted an interesting picture. The attack on the Horizon Dawn hadn't been sanctioned by the entire Vexari leadership. A faction within their military command, led by battle coordinator Zyxtal, had acted independently, believing that humanity's expansion needed to be checked before they became a threat. Status of the infiltration team? Samira asked quietly. Lieutenant Russo reports they're in position, Jean replied. The quantum mimicry devices are working perfectly, the Vexari security systems read them as maintenance crystals. It had been Ramirez's idea, using their understanding of Vexari technology to create devices that could fool their systems. Human infiltrators, wearing crystalline suits that resonated at the same frequencies as Vexari tech, had managed to penetrate deep into enemy territory. Commander Nakamura's transmission is coming through, Zhang announced. Encrypted channel. The commander's holographic form appeared on the bridge. Captain, our intelligence assets have confirmed the situation. The Vexari High Council is divided. 3 of their 5 Crystal Lords oppose Zyxtal's actions, but their military architecture prevents them from directly countermanding his orders. A failsafe against civil war, Ramirez explained. Their system is designed so that military commands, once issued, can only be reversed by consensus or by the defeat of the commanding entity. Samira nodded grimly. So they have to watch while a rogue commander potentially starts a war they don't want. No wonder we detected those discord patterns. Exactly, Nakamura continued. This gives us an opportunity. If we can prove we understand their society well enough to target only the aggressive faction while respecting their larger power structure, we might be able to end this war before it fully begins, Samira finished. What are our orders? Operation Crystal Fracture is approved. Your infiltration team needs to reach the command core and upload our package directly into their quantum network. Time it with our fleet's appearance, and we can isolate Zyxtal's faction from the rest of their command structure, Ramirez said excitedly. Their own security protocols will work against them. The plan was audacious. While the infiltration team uploaded a carefully crafted quantum virus, designed to identify and isolate militant factions within the Vexery network, the human fleet would emerge from hiding to present an overwhelming show of force. But instead of attacking, they would demonstrate their ability to have attacked and chosen not to. Message from Lieutenant Russo, Jean reported. They've reached the central processing node. Awaiting our signal. Samira took a deep breath. Everything hinged on precise timing, and on their understanding of Vexery psychology. All ships, prepare for synchronized emergence. Weapons armed but not targeted. We need to show strength and restraint simultaneously. The next few minutes were tense with carefully controlled action. On Samira's mark, the human fleet decloaked in a perfect sphere around the Vexery command station, weapons charged but deliberately pointed away from any crucial systems. At the same instant, Russo's team uploaded their package into the quantum network. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The station's crystalline structure flickered with chaotic energy patterns as the virus spread through their systems, isolating Zweigstal's command protocols. Emergency signals flared across different sections as the High Council regained direct control of their military networks. Multiple ships decloaking. Zhang announced. Vexery warships emerging from hidden docks. But the expected attack didn't come. The Vexery ships took up defensive positions but didn't power their weapons. Instead, a communication signal pulsed across all frequencies. They're broadcasting in standard human formats, Ramirez reported, surprised. It's a request for parley. From Crystal Lord Valshera herself. Samira exchanged looks with her bridge crew. This was the moment that would determine not just the outcome of the conflict, but humanity's place in the wider galaxy. Put it through to the main screen. The image that appeared was breathtaking, a being that seemed to be made of living crystal, its faceted form refracting light in complex patterns that somehow conveyed both authority and wisdom. Greetings, warriors of Earth, Valshera's translated voice resonated through the bridge. You have demonstrated both great strength and unexpected wisdom. You could have struck at our heart, yet you chose to excise only the tumor that threatened peace. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other. Samira straightened in her command chair. We believe there is much we could teach each other, Crystal Lord. Humanity doesn't seek war or dominance, only peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. So we have seen, Valshera replied. Battle Coordinator Zweigstal has been contained. His faction will be reformed. Would you join me in discussions about how our peoples might move forward together? As Samira prepared to accept the invitation, she caught Ramirez grinning at his station again. Another amusing thought, Doctor. Just appreciating the irony, he replied quietly. They attacked us because they thought we might become a threat to their power. In doing so, they forced us to become exactly what they feared, but also showed them that their fear was unnecessary. Samira smiled. Humanity had proven itself not just capable of defending against superior technology, but wise enough to use that capability with restraint. Perhaps that was the greatest victory of all. The Grand Chamber of Harmony aboard the Vexery High Command Station sparkled with crystalline light as representatives from both species gathered to formalize their new alliance. 1 year had passed since the confrontation that had brought them to this moment, and the changes in that time had been extraordinary. Captain, now Admiral, Samira Patel stood before the assembled delegates, her dress uniform adorned with both human and Vexery symbols of authority. Beside her, Crystal Lord Valshera's form pulsed with patterns that the humans present had learned to recognize as pride and optimism. The integration of our technologies has proceeded beyond our most ambitious projections, Samira addressed the chamber. The quantum gravitational drives we've developed together have opened up sectors of space previously thought unreachable. Our combined understanding of crystal computing and human adaptive algorithms has created systems more powerful than either of our species imagined possible. The chamber's walls shifted, displaying data from joint research projects across human and Vexery space. Dr. Ramirez, now heading the Joint Species Scientific Authority, stepped forward to elaborate. What we originally saw as incompatible approaches to technology have proven to be perfectly complementary, he explained. Vexillary crystalline precision combined with human creativity and adaptability. We're not just sharing knowledge, we're creating entirely new fields of science. But not everything was focused on technological advancement. The political and social implications of their alliance had rippled through the galaxy. Commander Nakamura, appearing via hologram from Earth, addressed this aspect. The containment and rehabilitation of Zwaxdal's faction taught both our species valuable lessons, he noted. Humans learned the importance of harmony and consensus, while the Vexillary discovered the benefits of individual initiative and controlled discord. Together, we've created something unprecedented, a partnership that makes both our civilizations stronger without diminishing either. Valshera's crystalline form chimed in harmonic agreement. The very qualities that Zwaxdal feared in humanity, their unpredictability, their innovative drive, their ability to turn apparent weakness into strength, have proven to be exactly what our empire needed. We had grown too rigid, too certain of our superiority. Humans reminded us that true strength comes from growth and adaptation. The chamber's displays shifted again, showing the new Joint Defense Fleet. Hyperion-class ships now incorporated Vexillary crystalline technology, while Vexillary vessels had been modified with human adaptive systems. They were no longer two separate forces but a single, unified armada dedicated to peaceful exploration and mutual defense. But our greatest achievement, Samira continued, isn't technological or military. It's the proof that different species, with different approaches to life and civilization, can not only coexist but thrive together. Our alliance has attracted the attention of other spacefaring races who previously avoided contact with either of our species. Indeed, representatives from 3 other alien civilizations were present in the chamber, observing the proceedings with what their various physiologies expressed as keen interest. The Human-Vexillary alliance had shifted the balance of power in their sector of the galaxy, not through force but through the demonstration of successful cooperation. There will be challenges ahead, Samira acknowledged. Change never comes easily, and there are those in both our societies who resist this new direction. But we've proven that we're stronger together than apart. The question is no longer whether our species can coexist, but how many new discoveries we'll make together. As the formal ceremony concluded, Samira found herself standing with Ramirez and Valshera in one of the station's observation pods, watching ships from both species moving in harmonious patterns against the star-filled backdrop. You know, Ramirez mused, if someone had told me a year ago that an unprovoked attack on a research vessel would lead to one of the most significant technological and cultural advances in human history. The universe works in unexpected ways, Valshera chimed, her crystalline form refracting the starlight. Your human philosophers speak of crisis containing both danger and opportunity. We Vexillary are learning that chaos and order need not be opponents, they can be partners in the dance of progress. Samira smiled, watching a group of human and Vexillary scientists excitedly discussing something over a shared holographic display. Perhaps that's the real victory here. Not just surviving a potential war, but turning it into an opportunity for both our species to grow beyond what we thought possible. A communication alert chimed softly. Another unknown ship had been detected at the edge of their space, its design unlike anything in their combined databases. But this time, instead of fear or suspicion, the response from both humans and Vexillary was curiosity and cautious optimism. Shall we go greet our new visitors? Samira asked, already knowing the answer. Together? Valshera's form sparkled with agreement, and Ramirez was already pulling up preliminary scans on his tablet. As they headed toward the command center, Samira reflected on how far they'd come. What had started as a hostile encounter had transformed into something remarkable, proof that the greatest adventures often begin with the courage to turn enemies into allies, and challenges into opportunities. The stars beckoned, and humanity's place among them was now secured not by force of arms, but by the strength of understanding and the power of cooperation. It wasn't the victory anyone had expected, but it was perhaps the most important victory of all.